Welcome and welcome back, all. Devil May Cry is seriously the dumbest thing ever, yet somehow simultaneously the absolute best. Don't believe me?
Time to go to work, guys.
Sure, it's pure cheese, but that's what leads me to conclude that Devil May Cry is basically just JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Oh wait, you actually gotta back up your thesis statements with facts and opinions. Fuck. I've always had a slight interest in actually getting into the DMC franchise, as I've always heard good things, but never really had a reason to do so. It's always just been one of those things that people like, and I know they like it, but I've always just thought to myself, okay. But then, at E3 last year, during the Xbox conference, I actually got a reason.
Volume again.
This looks like a very Japanese game.
Redgrave?
Whoa! Seeing the best friends, rest in peace, react in this way, instead of, okay, I went, okay. I feel like there's a joke here about the ridiculous nature of fanboyism, but I don't want to disrespect the dead. Those guys are cool, especially since their hype is what got me hype. All the excitement around the DMC 5 announcement made me go out within the next few days and pick up DMC on PS2, which I tried first and it alright, but also DMC 4 and the HD collection on the 360, which are inherently superior. HD collection's cool though. Devil May Cry, now beautifully restored in color. It's just like that one Shirley Temple DVD box set I remember so strangely vividly from my childhood. You remember that shit on Nickelodeon all the time?
Hours of her unforgettable singing.
Animal crackers in my throat. Who even puts animal crackers in soup? That's mixing sweet and savory. Surely that is freakish.
Don't call me Shirley.
Airplane, Don't Call Me Shirley edition DVD.
Fun fact, did you know that Shirley Temple was the US ambassador to Czechoslovakia under George H.W. Bush, and apparently also chief of protocol at one point? I feel stupid because I don't even know what that means, and yet Shirley Temple did it. What's she doing these days? She dead? Oh, she is. I guess I really do want to disrespect the dead. Fuck them, they're dead. But you know what the real sad part is? It's taken me this long to only beat the first DMC game. I really have a problem with finishing games. I'm like that guy from Jimmy Neutron, you know, that professor guy who couldn't finish anything? That's me. Jimmy Neutron was warning me against myself. So while I can't join in on the actual hype of playing Devil May Cry 5, I can at least cynically capitalize on your excitement for that delicious YouTube ad revenue, baby. People have waited 10 years for this game, and while I think that's crazy and all, and I absolutely love the fact that everyone's gonna get to play this new game they've wanted for forever, I can't help but be an opportunistic son of a bitch. But hey, I'm not totally devoid of artistic integrity yet, since I don't really have enough experience with hack and slash games, with this being my first proper introduction to the genre. I'm not gonna review DMC, but instead just talk about what I think is cool about it and how I'm nearly 100% certain Hideki Kamiya is a closeted JoJo fanatic. And I say closeted, but there's actual confirmed JoJo references in DMC games, which only furthers to prove my point. What's that you say? Kamiya only worked on the first game? Oh, well, I've only played the first game, so that works for me. But I do want to point out the blatant references in a couple of the other games, like Dante's recent Jotaro point, Nero's Devil Trigger in DMC 4 that is basically just a stand. And also, holy shit, I'm being told that apparently in Bayonetta there's an attack that is literally just Mista's Sex Pistol stand from Part 5. And guess who that game was directed by? Hideki Kamiya. I rest my case. Also, I haven't played any of those games, but that's neither here nor there. So I got heavy Part 1 Phantom Blood vibes playing through DMC 1. The setting, the tone, the Dante, and just the overall air of ridiculousness that's somehow maintained in this gothic setting with demon people. All the while, the protagonists are nearly polar opposites, Jonathan Joestar being a wannabe gentleman and mostly having the personality of a piece of toast, JK Johnny, love you, mwah, and Dante being the cocky, lovable little bitch everyone loves him for. And it's funny, now that I think about it, Dante's personality can basically be summed up with just Joseph Joestar. Hey, it's me, Adam from the future with some add-in info. Kamiya has apparently gone on record, or as on record as Twitter is, and said that Part 2, Battle Tendency, is his favorite JoJo part, which I can't fault him for, that's some good taste, and that it's apparently because he loves Joseph Joestar so much. I went, oh, hell yeah, awesome. But then I was looking at the beautiful Joe box art, and holy shit, it all makes sense from Joe's attitude to his design. Future Adam out. Phantom Blood and Devil May Cry also have just like the coolest set pieces. Ghost Ship might be my favorite level just because of how fucking out of nowhere it was and how different it is. It was a great change of pace from the rest of the game's setting. Not that it was even needed, but it was just really cool. I saw it on the mission screen, rounded the corner in the cave, and just there it is. Yep, a giant goddamn ghost ship. Like, yep, strap in, motherfucker, we're doing this. And then you fight a bird on it? Like, how fucking wild is that? And there's a boat in Phantom Blood, I shit you not. It's not even a valid comparison. Even though those sequences are relatively different up until the end, but JoJo spoilers, so just go watch Phantom Blood. It's like 9 episodes, and don't let anybody tell you to skip parts 1 and 2 of JoJo either, because apparently some people like to recommend that, and it's just kind of not okay. You'll either love it or hate it, but at least give it a try. Is this video even about Devil May Cry? I love the Devil Trigger. I used it nearly exclusively to become Diablo Dante and rain electricity from my hands upon my foes. I didn't use it early on at all for some reason, probably because meters in video games seem to scare me. Like, what if I run out and need it later? But it actually fills up pretty quick. So I can be a cheap asshole in fights. I love it. I am the fucking strong! You know who else is a cheap asshole in fights? Dio Brando. Remember when he punched Jonathan Joestar in the eye in a boxing match just because he could? Dio was a fucking prick, dude. Just like Virgil. It's ironic to compare the two characters though, because unlike Dio, Virgil is kind of the most subtly handled thing in the entire game. He just looks at the locket, goes, "Nani?" And you go, oh, that's the infamous brotheress I've heard so much about. He's like Dante, but blue. Kind of like another brother I know of. Maybe you've heard of him. Let's just say that I'm a Virgil man. Wait, that sounds like Virgin Man. Oh no! I know they do more with him in future games, but I just thought that was neat. Much like JoJo, hidden in the over-the-top acting and impossibility of everything are very specific, subtle realisms. Unlike everyone's wardrobe though. Holy shit. I don't know, maybe this is just how everyone dressed in the 2001, but I don't care, man. I love it. Dante's got style, dude. I'd dress like this if it was socially acceptable and I wouldn't look like a psychopath.
You know, if it was socially acceptable.
I know you would drape yourself in velvet.
Again, another JoJo-esque trait. Araki knows how to draw his fashion, and apparently Kamiya knew how to direct it. Or whatever. I don't know who the character designer was, and I don't feel like looking it up. I mean, just look at this picture of Kamiya from his youth and tell me that this guy wouldn't go on to develop kick-ass games with a bunch of JoJo bullshit in them. Look, you gotta believe me when I say this was supposed to be a semi-serious video. It's just so much more fun to go completely off the rails. Y'all video essayists gotta try this shit. It's liberating. Oh yeah, and also apparently the Nobody's masks that make them turn big is directly inspired by JoJo's stone mask. I don't have a way to tie this into everything else. I just wanted to prove my very true point that much more true. Whoa, look at that! Adam from the future back at it again to bring you another spicy add-in. If anyone has talked about this comparison before or made very similar points to me, I just wanted to say that I would love to hear where you heard it from in the comments. Like, specifically if you've heard someone compare JoJo and Devil May Cry before, because it just feels like something that people would talk about, but I haven't seen anything. I know the best friends, rest in peace, loved the two franchises, and I haven't listened to most of their podcasts, so if you can recall an episode where they discuss this, like, please let me know. Or just use the comments to sound off about how much I'm reaching for this video by all means. Devil May Cry is hard. I had a lot of fun with it, did terribly most of the time, but it was really fun to get better and better at its kinda admittedly clunky combat system. I only got 2 A's in my whole playthrough, but just to prove to myself that I improved, I went back and S-ranked the first mission on hard, and let me tell ya, it was really satisfying. And I know you Devil May Cry fans are like, S-rank the whole game on Dante Must Die. I'm probably not gonna do that, you guys. Despite being somewhat clunky though, it manages to work very well, and it set a great framework for literally an entire genre. Kinda like, I don't know, JoJo? With Phantom Blood setting the groundwork for a franchise that would set the groundwork for all entertainment ever. Like for real, how long will it take you guys to realize that literally everything is a JoJo reference? Even Clint Eastwood. Devil May Cry and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure share 2 key traits. They both take themselves seriously enough for you to get invested and care, but they're also incredibly stupid and they know it. And that's a big reason as to why I love both of them. And maybe that's the whole point of this video's nonsensical structure. I'm not even sure at this point, but it covers my ass and hey, I'll take credit for it. That's bullshit, but I believe it. So yeah, I'm excited to play the rest of the games in the series and experience all their JoJo bullshit. Even the one with Dante. Fuck that guy, I'm told. And also fuck Hideki Kamiya, he's a genius asshole. And fuck Hirohiko Araki, he's turned me into a monster. And most of all, fuck Shirley Temple. Turns out she was a member of the Republican Party. So I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I'm glad she's dead. Am I right, fellow liberals? Yeah.